Marcus walked down the busy street, his steps calm and steady. The morning sun shone bright, and people were rushing to their jobs or running errands. Marcus was a tall man, dressed in a simple shirt and pants. He had a kind face, but today his face carried a small bruise. Just a few hours before, something terrible had happened to him. But right now, Marcus tried to keep his mind calm. He was about to start a very important job. He had just been made a judge in his city. This was a big honor for him and his family. It meant a lot because Marcus had worked hard all his life to reach this place. He wanted to help people and make sure that the law was fair to everyone. As Marcus walked, he noticed a few people looking at him. Some smiled, others nodded as a sign of respect. But Marcus did not stop to talk. He had to get home and prepare for his first day as a judge. The city was a place where many people lived and worked together, but there were still problems. Some people were treated unfairly because of the color of their skin. Marcus knew this well. He wanted to change those things. He wanted justice for everyone. Just a little while before, Marcus had faced a very different moment. It was a moment that made his heart beat fast and left pain in his nose. Marcus had been stopped by a police officer named Officer Davis. Davis was a man who did not like to listen or ask questions. He made quick decisions, and sometimes he acted unfairly. Davis had seen Marcus on the street and thought he was someone else. Davis thought Marcus was a suspect in a small crime that happened nearby. But Davis did not check Marcus's name or ask for his ID carefully. He only saw a black man and acted without thinking. Davis shouted at Marcus to stop. Marcus was surprised, but obeyed. He raised his hand slowly and said, "I'm not who you think I am. Please listen." But Davis did not calm down. He pushed Marcus hard against a wall. Marcus tried to explain, but Davis was too angry. Suddenly, Davis hit Marcus's face. Marcus felt a sharp pain. His nose broke, and blood started to flow. People on the street gasped. Some shouted for Davis to stop, but Davis ignored them. Marcus stood there, hurt and confused. He had never expected this. After a moment, Davis handcuffed Marcus and took him to his police car. Marcus stayed quiet. He did not want to make the situation worse. But inside, Marcus felt hurt and sad. He wondered why the officer had treated him like this. He was a good man. He had never done anything wrong. He thought about his family and his new job. He knew he had to be strong. Some people on the street saw what happened. They talked quietly among themselves. Many were angry about how the officer treated Marcus, but no one knew that Marcus was the new judge. Marcus's name was not known to the police officers yet. It was just another man in their eyes. At the police station, Marcus was checked by a doctor. His nose was badly hurt and needed care. Marcus told the officers about his job, but they did not believe him. They said, "You'll have time to prove it later." Marcus stayed calm. He knew that soon everyone would learn the truth. While Marcus sat quietly, a reporter outside heard about the incident. The news spread fast on the city streets and in people's homes. Many people were shocked. They wanted to know what would happen next. They wondered why a police officer would hurt a man who was supposed to protect the law. Back home, Marcus's family waited for him. His wife, children, and friends were worried. When Marcus came back, they saw the blood and the pain on his face. They hugged him tightly and promised to support him. Marcus smiled weakly, but felt their love give him strength. Even though his nose hurt, Marcus thought about his first day as a judge. He wanted to be fair and kind. He wanted to help people like himself who faced unfair treatment. Marcus believed that his job was more important than ever. He was ready to show the city what justice truly meant. The next day, Marcus went to the courthouse. His face still showed the marks of the attack, but his eyes were strong and full of hope. When he walked into the room full of lawyers and officials, everyone was silent. They had heard the story and knew who Marcus was now. Some people looked surprised, some worried, but Marcus did not care about their looks. He was there to do his work. Marcus sat down at the judge's chair. He looked around and saw the faces of many people waiting for their cases. He knew this was just the start of his journey. The road ahead would not be easy, but Marcus was ready. He would fight for fairness. He would speak for those who had no voice. And he would never forget what happened on that street. The moment a police officer broke his nose without knowing he was the new judge. Outside the courthouse, news cameras and reporters gathered. They wanted to tell Marcus's story. They wanted the city to hear about the wrongs and the hope. Marcus's story was becoming a symbol of courage, strength, and the fight for justice. In that busy city, life continued, but now people were watching closely. They wanted change. They wanted fairness. Marcus, with his broken nose but strong heart, was ready to lead that change. Marcus's story spread quickly through the city. People talked about the police officer who had broken his nose without knowing Marcus was the new judge. Many were shocked and angry. They could not believe that someone in power, like a police officer, could act so unfairly to a man who was about to serve justice for the community. News reporters showed pictures of Marcus's bruised face and told the story on television and in newspapers. The city felt a mix of sadness and hope. Sadness because of the pain Marcus had to suffer. Hope because now a man who had faced injustice was in a position to change the system. At the police department, the news caused a big problem. The police chief called a meeting with the officers. Some of them were worried about how this story would affect the department's reputation. Others felt that the officer Davis had made a serious mistake. But some officers defended Davis. They said he was just doing his job. The chief knew this was not just about one officer. It was about trust between the police and the people they served. He decided that a full investigation would begin. The city needed to know the truth. Marcus stayed calm during this time. Even though his nose still hurt, he focused on his work. He knew that the first days as a judge were important. He met with lawyers, studied cases, and prepared to make fair decisions. At the same time, he thought about the attack and what it meant. Marcus understood that the problem was bigger than one police officer. It was about how some people in the city saw others. It was about fear and unfair judgments. Marcus wanted to use his new role to fight these problems in his office. Marcus received many messages from people in the community. Some were kind words of support, thanking him for his courage. Others told their own stories of unfair treatment by the police or the justice system. Marcus read these stories carefully. Made him even more determined to work for fairness, wanted to help these people find justice. Marcus knew he was not alone. Many people believed in change. The city council also took notice. They called a special meeting to discuss the incident. Some council members expressed strong support for Marcus. They said that this event showed how much work was needed to improve relations between the police and the community. Others worried about the police department's image and wanted to protect it. The discussion was heated, but most agreed that something had to be done. The council promised to watch the investigation closely and make sure justice was served. Meanwhile, Officer Davis waited to hear about the investigation. He felt nervous but refused to admit that he had done something wrong. Davis told his friends that he had acted out of fear and duty. He believed he had to protect the city from crime, even if it meant using force. But deep inside, Davis wondered if his actions were fair. He remembered Marcus's calm words during the arrest and his quiet strength. Davis could not forget that Marcus was not like the people he usually stopped. He was different. As the investigation began, the police department reviewed security videos, talked to witnesses, and looked at medical reports. Many witnesses said they had seen Davis push Marcus too hard and use more force than needed. The medical report confirmed that Marcus's nose was broken. This evidence made it clear that Davis had acted wrongfully. The investigation's progress was shared with the public. People followed the news closely, hoping for justice. Many community leaders spoke out, calling for changes in how police officers were trained and held responsible. They said that incidents like this hurt trust and made it harder for police to protect the city. Marcus continued his work as a judge with quiet strength. Despite the pain and attention, he remained focused on fairness. He wanted to show that justice was possible even when it seemed difficult. Marcus started hearing small cases involving people from the neighborhood. He listened carefully, making sure everyone had a chance to tell their story. His calm and kind manner made people feel safe and respected. One day, Marcus was invited to speak at a community meeting about the incident. Many people came, including police officers, city officials, and neighbors. Marcus talked about his experience, not to blame, but to explain how fear and quick judgments can cause harm. He said, "We need to see each other as human beings with respect and kindness." His words touched many hearts. The meeting ended with a promise from the police chief to improve training and a communication with the community. Marcus's family stood by his side during all this. His wife, children, and close friends gave him strength and comfort. They knew that Marcus's journey was not just about one injury. It was about hope for a better future. Marcus often reminded them, "This is bigger than me. That is about all of us." Slowly, the city started to change. Police officers began attending new training programs to understand different cultures and avoid mistakes like Davis's. Community programs were created to build trust and friendship between the police and citizens. People felt more hopeful that they could live in a city where everyone was treated fairly. The story of Marcus and Officer Davis became a lesson for the city. It showed how important it was to be patient, to listen, and to treat others with respect. Marcus's courage helped many people believe in justice again. Through it all, Marcus remained humble. He knew that the fight for fairness was not over, but with each step, he was helping his city become a better place. He hoped that one day, no one would be judged by the color of their skin, but only by the content of their character. Marcus knew that his story was more than just about his broken nose. It was about a bigger problem in the city, how some people were treated unfairly because of their skin color. He wanted to use his new role as a judge to help change that. Even though he was still healing, Marcus decided to speak out. He wanted to make sure that the police officer who hurt him was held responsible. But he also wanted to make a difference for others who had suffered similar pain. Marcus worked hard to prepare for his first big case as a judge. This case involved a man accused of stealing from a store. Marcus listened carefully to both sides. He asked questions and made sure that the man had a fair chance to tell his story. Marcus treated everyone equally, no matter their background. People noticed how fair and kind he was. They began to trust him more and more. At the same time, Marcus pushed for the police officer, Davis, to be investigated fully. He met with city leaders, lawyers, and community groups to talk about the case. Marcus knew it would not be easy. The police department had a lot of power, and some people did not want to admit that Davis had made a mistake. But Marcus did not give up. He believed in justice, and he believed the truth would come out. Many people in the community joined Marcus in asking for fairness. They held peaceful meetings and marches, carried signs that said, "Justice for Marcus and stop police violence." These events brought attention to the problem of unfair treatment by the police. Marcus saw that he was not alone. Many people wanted change. During this time, Marcus's injury still caused him pain. His broken nose made it hard to breathe and eat sometimes. But Marcus did not complain. He said that the work he was doing was more important than his own discomfort. His family helped him with daily tasks, and their support gave him strength. Marcus often thought about the future, a future where no one would be hurt, just because of their skin color. The city's police chief finally agreed that Davis's actions needed serious review. A special committee was formed to look at the case closely. The committee studied the videos, spoke with witnesses, and read the medical reports. It became clear that Davis had used too much force. The committee recommended that Davis be suspended while the investigation continued. Marcus felt relief, but knew the fight was not over. He wanted to make sure the police department changed for the better. Marcus used his position to speak about the need for new rules and training. He said that police officers should learn how to treat people with respect and fairness. He wanted the community and police to work together, not against each other. Meanwhile, Marcus continued to hear cases. In his courtroom, each case was a chance to show fairness. People who came to court saw that Marcus was different. He listened without judging and made decisions based on facts and kindness. His calm presence helped many feel safe and respected. One day, a young man came to Marcus's court. He was nervous and afraid. Marcus spoke gently to him and asked questions that helped the young man explain his side. The young man thanked Marcus after the case. He said that for the first time he felt like someone cared. Marcus smiled. This was why he became a judge, to help people feel heard and treated fairly. Outside the courtroom, the community was changing too. People started talking more about race and fairness. Some police officers began joining programs to learn about different cultures. They wanted to do better. Marcus helped organize meetings where officers and community members could share their stories and understand each other. These meetings built trust and hope. Despite the progress, Marcus's new challenges remained. Some people still doubted that things could change. Some questioned whether the police department would really reform. But Marcus believed that every small step was important. He reminded himself and others that change takes time but must start. Somewhere at home, Marcus's family celebrated small victories. They saw how Marcus's work was making a difference. His children felt proud of their father. His wife stood by him through every challenge. Together, they dreamed of a city where fairness and respect were the rules. Marcus's story reached far beyond his city. Other towns heard about the judge who was hurt but kept fighting. Marcus was invited to speak at events and share his message of hope and justice. He spoke clearly about the pain of being judged unfairly and the power of standing up for what is right. Through all this, Marcus remained humble. He never forgot the day his nose was broken or the fear he felt, but he turned that pain into strength. Marcus believed that his experience could help others find courage. He wanted people to know that no matter how hard life gets, they can stand tall and demand fairness. As months passed, Marcus's health improved. His nose healed, but the mark on his face reminded him of the journey he was on. Every time he looked in the mirror, saw not just the injury, but the strength to fight for justice. Marcus's story inspired many people. It showed that one person could make a difference. It proved that even when faced with unfairness and pain, hope and fairness could win. Marcus continued his work as a judge with new energy and purpose. He believed in a future where no one would be hurt because of who they were. The investigation into Officer Davis's actions brought a turning point in the city. The police department could no longer ignore the clear evidence. Videos, witness accounts, and medical reports all showed that Davis had acted wrongly and with unfair force against Marcus. The police chief, feeling the pressure from the public and city leaders, decided that Davis would be suspended from duty while the case was fully reviewed. This decision sent a strong message. Police officers must be accountable for their actions. Watch this news carefully. He knew that justice was beginning to take shape. But he also understood that this was just one step in a much longer journey. The city had many deep problems with trust between the police and the community, especially people of color. Marcus wanted to use his role as a judge to help heal these wounds. On the day Marcus presided over his first case after the attack, the courtroom was full. Many people wanted to see the new judge who had been hurt, but was still strong and determined. Marcus looked calm and confident as he took his seat at the bench. His face still showed signs of the injury, but his eyes shone with a quiet strength. The case was simple but important. A disagreement between neighbors that needed a peaceful solution. Marcus listened carefully to both sides, asking thoughtful questions. His words were gentle but firm. He made sure that everyone felt heard and respected. The people in the courtroom could see that Marcus was fair. They could see his commitment to justice and kindness. After the case ended, some people came forward to thank Marcus. They said that his fairness gave them hope. His ability to listen and judge without bias was inspiring. Marcus smiled and said that he would do his best every day to serve the community. This moment was important. It showed that Marcus was ready to lead with integrity and care. At the same time, changes began inside the police department. The chief introduced new training. Programs focused on respect, understanding, and fairness. Officers were taught to be more careful and patient when dealing with the public. The department also started a program where officers could meet with community members to build trust and talk openly. Marcus helped support these efforts by attending meetings and sharing his experience. The city held a large community gathering. To discuss the future, Marcus was invited to speak. Standing before a crowd of police officers, city leaders, and citizens, Marcus shared his story. He did not speak with anger but with hope. He said, "We all want to live in a city where everyone feels safe and respected. That is why we must listen to each other and work together." His words touched many hearts. Some people in the city were still skeptical. They wondered if real change was possible. But Marcus reminded them that every step forward mattered. Encourage people to believe in fairness and to support each other. Marcus's message was clear. Change begins with courage and unity. In the days and weeks that followed, Marcus continued to work hard in his courtroom. He handled cases with care and fairness. People noticed how he treated everyone equally, regardless of their background. His calm and thoughtful approach made the courtroom a place where justice was real and kind. Marcus's family continued to support him. His wife often reminded him to take care of his health and not work too hard. His children admired their father's strength and kindness. Together, they dreamed of a future where the city was a better place for all. Officer Davis faced serious consequences. After the investigation, he was suspended without pay and required to attend special training on fairness and respect. The department made it clear that any officer who acted unfairly would face discipline. This sent a message that justice applied to everyone, including those who enforced the law. The community's trust slowly began to return. Police officers and citizens worked together more often. Programs for better communication and understanding grew. Marcus's story became a symbol of hope and change. People remembered how a man hurt by unfairness stood up to fight for what was right. Through it all, Marcus never forgot the pain he felt. His broken nose was a mark of that painful day, but also a symbol of his strength. Every time he saw the scar, he remembered why he must keep fighting for justice. Marcus believed that his city could heal and grow stronger. Marcus's journey was far from over, but he knew that with courage, fairness, and kindness, even the hardest problems could be solved. He was ready to lead the way, not just as a judge, but as a voice for hope in his community. Months passed since the day Marcus was hurt by Officer Davis. His broken nose had healed, but the memory of that moment stayed with him. It was a reminder of the struggle he faced and the changes he was helping to bring to his city. Marcus felt stronger now, not just because of his recovery, but because of the hope he saw growing around him. Marcus continued his work as a judge with passion and care. Every case he heard was an opportunity to show fairness and kindness. People trusted him more and more because he treated everyone with respect. His calm voice and steady eyes gave comfort to those who felt scared or unsure. Marcus believed that true justice was not just about rules, but about understanding people and their stories. Outside the courtroom, Marcus saw real changes happening. The police department had improved how it worked with the community. Officers attended training that taught them to listen and respect everyone, no matter their background. Some officers became friends with community members, working together to keep the city safe. Marcus was proud to see these changes, knowing that his story had helped start them. The city held events to celebrate progress. At one gathering, Marcus spoke about hope and healing. He said, "We cannot change the past, but we can build a better future. It starts with kindness and fairness in every action we take." The crowd listened quietly, feeling inspired. Marcus's words gave people courage to keep working for justice. Officer Davis had faced consequences for his actions. He was no longer part of the police force. The city wanted to make sure that officers like him would not hurt people again. Marcus believed that holding people accountable was important. It showed that no one was above the law, not even those who wore the badge. Marcus's family was happy to see him well and strong. His wife often reminded him to rest and take care of himself. His children learned from his example about standing up for what is right. Together they dreamed of a city where everyone was treated fairly and with respect. Marcus's story became a symbol of courage and change. People in the city and beyond talked about how a man hurt by injustice used his pain to bring hope to many. Schools invited Marcus to speak to students about fairness and kindness. Community leaders asked him to help create programs that would teach respect and understanding. Through it all, Marcus remained humble. He knew that the road to true justice was long and sometimes hard. but he also knew that every small step forward was a victory. Marcus believed that with patience, kindness, and courage, a better world was possible. One quiet evening, Marcus sat by the window of his home. He looked out at the city lights, thinking about the journey he had traveled. From the painful day his nose was broken to the hopeful days of change, Marcus felt proud. He knew that his fight was not just his own. It belonged to everyone who wanted fairness and justice. Marcus smiled softly. He was ready for whatever came next, because he believed in the power of hope, the strength of community, and the promise of a brighter future for all.